mentorship program on our farm, and right now we're offering our super early bird discount until the end of August, where we take $1,000 off tuition, and that is for the 2024 season. And then from September till the end of December, we do an early bird discount where we take $600 off tuition. So depending on when you're watching this video, we have a couple deals for the following season. If you are thinking about doing a mushroom farm and you're looking for some education, we offer hands-on learning on my farm. You can become part of the team for a week. We teach you everything we're doing, and we just have a lot of fun doing it. So maybe consider our mentorship. I'll leave the details in the show notes below. July 22nd, 2023 on my farm here in Summerland. This year has been exceptionally hot. So if you've been farming outside, whatever you've been doing, you probably noticed that it's really hot this year, and there's a lot of weird stuff going around. Specifically in Summerland here, we have a lot of grasshoppers this year. I don't know why, they're just jumping everywhere. And we've had a lot of problems with mice this year, and the population just seems to be out of control with the increased heat. And with that, we've had problems with our king oyster, especially. King oyster happens to be a very sensitive strain that doesn't like it too hot, and we like to grow it in the spring and the fall. And this year, we've had all our crops get wiped out. We usually need about 3 weeks of cold weather, and here in Canada, we're looking for about 26 Celsius being at the peak, all the way down to maybe 10 degrees Celsius. That would be the optimal conditions for king oyster. And we just didn't have what we needed, and our king oyster just kept getting wiped out. So we tried some strategies on the farm, stuff like increasing the water in our greenhouse. I'll bring you guys in the greenhouse over here in a minute. So we tried increasing the gallons per hour. Normally we run the farm at 6 gallons per hour, and then we transition into warm weather strains, and that seems to work very well. The cold weather strains, they get really sensitive as we get to the higher temperatures, and they start drying out. So with the king oyster, we thought, well, maybe we'll increase it to 8 gallons an hour and we'll see what happens. Well, king oyster specifically, with the extra water and the heat, we ended up having a lot of blotch on our farm, and that wasn't ideal. So we ended up just cropping out all our king oysters. But what we did notice is that by increasing the gallons per hour to 8, we were able to push our field oyster beyond what we've ever done on our farm. So sometimes when you have things go wrong, you have solutions that can then open up your eyes to other possibilities. And what we've noticed on our farm now is that in the summer here, that we can actually increase the greenhouse gallons per hour to 8, and that's increasing more water. But because it's hotter and we're getting a lot more evaporation in our greenhouses, the greenhouses can handle it, and we're not seeing blotch, and we're able to push strains like lion's mane and field oyster beyond what we've ever done before. And we're experiencing temperatures about, I would say on average, between like 32 and 35 Celsius right now, and these strains are still rocking. So I'm gonna bring you guys into greenhouse 3 and just show you exactly what that looks like. And you know, this opens up a lot of new possibilities for what we're looking to do on our farm. But until these heat cycles start coming down, I think over the next couple of years, we're probably not going to be growing king oyster anymore on my farm. It's just not worth it until we can see what the weather is going to be like throughout the Okanagan over the next couple of years and into the next 5 years. This is an ever-changing weather cycle, and it's very difficult what I do here on my farm growing seasonal mushrooms. So we always need to grow mushrooms that have a wide temperature range, so we have lots of flexibility and we can handle those swings. And there's certain strains that we're just going to have to stay away from until those temperatures start being more predictable here on our farm. So these are field oysters, peak summer here in the Okanagan. They grow incredibly fast, a lot faster than our elm oyster that we normally grow in the summer. And they're not drying out, they look really nice. We also started growing a lot of yellow oyster. We started doing that research last year. And again, they're growing really nice with that increased water supply. And then these are elm oyster blocks here. They're just starting. And we actually have a tree oyster here as well. That's the elm oyster. So the field oyster, these were put in the same time, but they're clearly just way ahead. And that's because this is a cold weather strain. So when we're growing in warmer temperatures, it just speeds everything up. So this crop is just rocking right now. And I'll show you in the other greenhouse what I mean by the flow meter. This is the flow meter for our fan. We just have that set for 8 gallons per hour for the water. Then we use these turbo aqua fog fans from Jaybird Manufacturing. We want to keep a lot of water in these greenhouses because they do get exposed to the sun. All these mushrooms are looking fantastic, so I still have to harvest right now. And we have some lion's mane in the very back greenhouse. We call this greenhouse number 7. Second crop of the yellow oysters coming in. And just a few lion's mane right now. So it can get really hot here in the Okanagan, and the only way we can grow mushrooms is we have to put shade cloth over the greenhouses. So we double 90% shade cloth, and then we have shade cloth on the inside of the greenhouses. And that's the only way we can grow mushrooms here. It's super hot, mushrooms are going to dry out, and the fact that we're growing cold tolerant strains right now in this hot summer weather is just incredible to me. And it really just comes down to keeping enough water mist in the greenhouses, and then making sure that the water is not staying on the mushrooms, because that's when you're going to start seeing problems with blotch. So if it was to rain here in the Okanagan for a few days, then we'd consider dropping the shade cloth on the inside of the greenhouse, probably dropping the water pressure, and we have to make some adjustments, otherwise we might see lots of blotch coming up. So these are little adjustments that we have to do on the farm when we're growing outside, but here in the Okanagan it's quite common to have 1 or 2 months of just straight hot summer heat and no rain. So we're just pumping the greenhouses right now with mushrooms in this heat, and they're just loving it. So what you guys are going to see over the next month or so on our YouTube channel here is we're transitioning into our elm oyster, which we grow all summer long. And then we'll be growing a Pia mushroom this year. We started doing the research for that last year, and really excited to do a lot more volume this year with that. We'll be doing chestnut as well, but I have switched more heavy to Pia this year because chestnut just takes so long in incubation in our lab, and it takes almost about 3 to 4 weeks to fruit in our greenhouses. So we're looking about 8 weeks in incubation, about 3 to 4 weeks of fruiting time in our greenhouses. It just takes a lot more time, and Pia turns over a lot faster, and it's just as an impressive mushroom. So these are a couple of the changes that we're working on our farm this year. If you want to learn more, please consider our mentorship for the 2024 season. We are offering our discount where you save $1,000 if you want to book our super early bird. If you're watching this video a little bit later on, we do a early bird discount starting in September where you save $600 off tuition. Catch you guys in the next video, and again, thanks for watching.